There's one. That was a cool bite. This is not your average plastic worm. You can do a lot of neat stuff with this worm. That's a fresh fish there. Look how clean that fish is. It's a good fish. Come on up here. We got big line here. That's a good one to get started. How about that? Look at that fella. Drilled right in the top of that gam. And he ate the 7-inch cutter worm. New color called moon juice. And hey, I'm out of this world over it. Mark Menendez, Tackle Warehouse Pro with you, and we're going to take you on a little trip to the moon back today. Great way to get started. Tell you what, that is a gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous fish. How pretty that fish is. I'll tell you what, this is not your everyday average plastic worm. I carry as much tackle as Tackle Warehouse has in their inventory on tour, so I'm trying to be efficient. I need baits I can do multiple things with. This is the new 7-inch cutter worm. Now I've got a bigger, fatter, longer worm. Got a good tail on it, good body, good bulk. I love to fish this, retrieving it like a spinnerbait, like I just caught that last fish. I love to flip this worm with that big flat rage tail on the back of it there with that flange on it. Moves a lot of water. I drag it on a Carolina rig. I do multiple things with it. This is a new color called Moon Juice. This is one of the most natural looking colors I've seen in a long time. And this gives the presentation and silhouette of almost like a swim bait, yet it's a Texas rig. I can flip it. I can't throw a big hook swim bait into a buck brush or brush pile. I can put this in there. I can skip this under a dock, whatever. This gives me multiple presentations with one bait, and that's the big key. This is basically spinnerbait fishing with a worm. Good for when the water gets hot, keeping things high in the water column. Big bulky worm, big meal, easy meal for the fish, but yet if there's a piece of cover I want to drop it into, I can do that. Fish it like a traditional worm. Come off the outside edge of that grass line, go back to regular worm fishing, hopping it on the bottom, bringing it through that grass. But I love to retrieve this with that big rage flange on the back of that tail. Thump, 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 thump. It's like a spinnerbait. And it's a presentation the fish don't see very often. There's a good one. Well, I mean hot. Come here, big boy. Come on up here. Look at him go. Get up here. Good bass. Just my simple flip and stick with 20-pound Seaguar InvizX on it. Got a bobber stop, tour grade tungsten 5/16 slip sinker, and a 5/0 Gamakatsu straight shank hook. And there's the result. Another one that liked that big worm. Got spots on one side. Look at there, those spots on the side. How about that? Little trick to rigging this worm. We're going to Texas rig it like we normally would, but I want the flange of the tail down. See this little bitty excess plastic? Okay, that comes from the mold. That keeps our tail straight in the mold so we don't get any crooked worms. But I want the bottom of the worm, I want that tail down. So I've got it down, I'm going to rig it on its side, come in a quarter, slide it up to the top of my Gamakatsu hook, roll that in, come back in, get my bobber stop, get everything back together. Now, with that tail, the bottom part of the tail right there in the down position, that creates the ability for that worm to run straight. No rolling over on its side, no twisting. We want it to run straight, just like a swim bait. This worm moves a lot of water. That big tail, big body, it moves an awful lot of water. And you can see, oh, that one got my whole goods right there. Look at there, he got it. You can see it's pretty simple. I'm just throwing it and winding it back. I'm not having to do anything out of the ordinary. I'm not having to twitch it or hop it on the bottom or drag it like a Carolina. I'm throwing it out and winding it in. I am the king of simplicity. That's what I want. Easy ways to catch bass. Problem is you've got to let them get it and move with it. When they hit it as hard as that one did, you'll pop it out of their mouth sometime. That one got it. Yeah, little guy got my tail. Now, don't throw that worm away. What does that look like that you can use it as? You can use it just like a stick worm, just like a shimmy worm. It's not a problem. I saw that one come up and get it. Golly, look at him go. Little moon juice in his nose, huh? I mean, I've got him drilled right in the top of the nose. Come up here, big dog. Got him. Look at there, popped it right out of there. Moon juice, 7-inch cutter. Well, that's a good bass in anybody's book right there, guys. A good fish. Well, I've been retrieving it like a swim bait or a spinnerbait. Now we're going to turn it into a regular worm. We're going to fish it under this dock, fish the pilings of the dock. We're going to use it like a regular worm. Even that line so it'll fall. Oh, he's got it. Now we're talking. There's a decent fish. The worm kept going down and it just kept going down and down and down. I think he realizes he's caught, boys. He's not fighting. Look at that pre-spawn fish. Now that's a fatty right there. That's a fatty, but that illustrates the utilitarianness of this worm. I can use it in multiple ways. It helps me not have to carry as much tackle. Now that one right there is a fatty. How about that? Get him back in there and let's get another one off that pole. There'll be another big one right there. Just proof that they don't all spawn at the same time. Let's make that same presentation. One of the things I want to tell you, I don't care what presentation you make, what bait you're throwing, if you are successful and catch a fish, make the same presentation again. Bass are social creatures. They like to hang out with their buddies, and there could be more of them there. Make that same cast again, and over the course of a year, you will be rewarded with 10 to 12 fish more than you would have caught had you put that size 12 on that motor guide trolling motor and gone on down the bank. Catch a lot of fish like that in Bassmaster competition. Fishing it like a traditional worm here. Uh-oh, yep. Another chuck, boy, he's mad. He's mad. He's throwing water all over me. Come on up here. Drilled him with that number 5. I mean, got him. Got him. There we go. That's a good little fish right there. Thick. Thick and good. He loved his cutter. Now, let's have a little class about hooks. I want a hook point that is ready for penetration in that fish's mouth at any angle. And that's why casting and flipping a plastic worm, most creature baits, I want a straight shank worm hook. Regardless of the angle of my rod tip, regardless how I set the hook, this hook point is moving forward and going straight into a hooking position in that fish's mouth. Not to say extra wide gap hooks are bad. They have their purpose in different baits for me. But when pitching and flipping soft plastics, casting this worm like I was with the spinnerbait type retrieve, this hook point in a straight shank worm hook is always ready to penetrate the mouth and catch the next fish. There he is. He said, "Don't." Like you're so big flipping stick, you're in control with this flipping stick. And so I thought. And he's actually turning the boat, he's pulling so hard. Come on up here. Gotcha. Gotcha. Give me a drink. Give me one of those drinks. Pop the top. All right, for a tongue hooked fish, that works a lot of the time. The carbonic acid in your drink coagulates the blood. That fish was hooked right in the tongue. That fish has got a better than 50-50 chance of living. I'd probably say 75% chance that fish will live. Okay, always keep a Sprite, always keep something that's got carbonic acid in it, and you'll save fish. There he is. Just winding it nice and slow. Just like a spinnerbait. Just like a spinnerbait. Come up here, guy. Hey, remember to like, share, and tag a buddy to be eligible for the gear giveaway. And those right there are going to be ready for you guys to wind it, flip it, pitch it, or just cast it. I think he's got a problem. I don't know what he's leaking. Let him go.